the road. So first things first, all right. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of speculation regarding Jon Moxley's comments about the CM Punk incident on a recent episode of the Sessions with Renee Paquette. You can listen and stream it at your earliest convenience. But Jon Moxley had a lot of things to say. Recently, CM Punk kind of talked about the incident on his what was it? He talked about the incident on Instagram. That's where it was. And I'm gonna find the screenshot right now. Instagram story. He pretty much just kind of talked about the entire shebang. And so here we go. I am pulling up the screenshot right now. Okay, so this is the screenshot. He said, "Sigh. I wasn't cleared to come back yet. Then plan was to wrestle at the pay-per-view. I sat and listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea. I explained how I'd never seen a Rocky movie, and I thought the idea sucked. But if the boss wanted to do it, whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me. I'd never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just laughed. I asked Tony asked Tony if this was what he wanted. He said yes. He's the boss, so I said okay, but I'd need to be cleared first. They kept saying it could just be a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important. Dave Meltzer is a liar. Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There were plans, but plans always change. But I'll never put a company above my health ever again." So that was kind of like his little screenshot in regards to the incident. Then Jon Moxley appears on his podcast. Essentially, he was just talking about how he had, was essentially bending over backwards to make this work. Talked about how he was a free agent at the time of the feud. Talked about how he could have walked into SummerSlam with the AEW World Championship, which is nuts when you think about it. But I kind of wanted to know your take on this entire situation regarding Jon Moxley's comments, CM Punk's comments, and, where do they go from here?
Well, just for the audience's sake, just paraphrase what Mox was getting at.
Oh, paraphrase what Mox was saying? So
yeah.
He was just saying that, he bent over backwards for this entire situation. You know what I mean? He bent over backwards for this, and essentially, like he also was just talking about how like he doesn't think that this is news. He thinks that, just because something is on the internet doesn't mean that it's news, and that there's so many other cool things that are happening in AEW besides, this debacle. So that was essentially what he was saying.
Okay, yeah. So to respond to that, I'm 110% on Mox's side. I've been saying this since the incident happened during All Out. And I just feel as though I feel like when it comes to Punk, and I'm not sure if it has to do with like age or maybe, him just being bitter in general. I thought he would have like grown out of this, but I just feel as though he's very self-centered. And it's always about him. And it's as if he has like a victim complex. And I didn't want to like say that, but I feel like he has a victim complex because I feel as though if things don't go his way, then it's everyone else's fault. And, he wants to like play the world's smallest violin. And I really love Mox's response to all this because he's 110% correct. I feel as though when it comes to AEW, the show does have some stuff to offer, although it has its good nights and its bad nights. It's upsetting that for many months now, the show really not that many people are like paying attention to what this show decided to put their purpose in about, and it's supposed to be like focused on the wrestling and the characters and seeing talents that we always wanted to see win and be booked properly. And I feel as though no one focuses on that stuff because we're kind of wrapped up in the drama because AEW had that streak of drama going on, and a lot of it being centered around Punk. And the thing that just gets me the most upset about Punk is, like I said, he's a veteran and he was put to be in a title picture, which means there should be a certain standard. And the way that Daniel Bryan and Mox portray themselves, like they are definitely company men. They are the best representation that you would want for your company. as far as leadership goes. Because yeah, his answer was perfect. He basically just moved out of the complete way of the drama and just said, hey, yeah, we're a wrestling company at the end of the day. We should be talking about the wrestling, not like the tea and the drama that's going into it. You know? He just mainly just said, like, yo, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here at this point? We're grown ass men. We have jobs. Why are we not focusing on pushing our product and making our product the most dominant one in the industry? And I love that. I love that so much because that's what we should be focusing on as fans. I'm very much over CM Punk as a concept. I don't care if he comes back. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back, but I don't care if he comes back at this point because he's, to me, not for good business. If he comes back, then yeah, ratings will spike for a little bit because people love controversy. You know, wrestling fans are pretty sick. Let's be honest. But I don't care to see that man back. I don't. I don't want to see him in a title match. If he feels like he's putting his body and his health at risk for this company, then stay over there with your wife. I don't care. Like I'm at a point where I don't care. I just want to like watch a good wrestling show and pay attention to that and have a good takeaway and be able to talk about it amongst you guys or my friends about how amazing of a pay-per-view that was. We shouldn't still be stuck on this situation. So Punk, I feel like he was just being messy that night and he wanted a little attention and he got what he wanted. But Mox just extinguished that shit out real quick. So good on him. What do you think, Jordan?
I was going to say the same thing. I think that it says a lot about a man when he gets the spotlight and he chooses to shine. He chooses to shine it on other people, and I think that that's what Moxley did. He was also in that episode talking about the Bucks, and he was talking about how much he had respect for them, and he talked about Kenny Omega and the match that he had on the latest episode of Dynamite. He talked about Marina Shafir, which I didn't even expect him to talk about Marina Shafir, and it's just like it just goes to show you that he wants the company to do well, that he wants to, you know, the company to succeed. He wants the product to be great, and he wants the focus to be on the product and not the drama, as you said earlier. And I think that that says a lot about him and his character because he could have easily used the drama and the tea to kind of elevate himself, to kind of elevate whatever, you know, agenda he wanted to push. But the fact that he was more adamant about talking about the product and the evolution of the product and how the product is doing really, really good things, I think says a lot about him. And I think that that's really, really good on him. As it pertains to Punk, I kind of am in agreement with you. Like we're in March. April is literally a skip and a hop away. And the fact that we're talking about something that happened in September is just it's at first it was cute. At first it was cute. At first it was cute. Like now it's just exhausting. It's just exhausting and it's annoying. And I want to be able to move past it. And I think that the majority of the wrestling world kind of feels the same way. We don't care about the all out brawl anymore. Whatever happened. It is what it is. We just want good wrestling. And I think that's kind of where everybody is at. That's kind of where I stand on it. So we want to know your opinions on Jon Moxley's comments on the sessions. Once again, it was a great podcast, great episode. I encourage everyone to listen to it in full. But we're going to be moving on.